floodwaters are slowly receding now in Turner, Oregon, just southeast of Salem at this hour, but a lot of damage has already been done. It's going to take a lot of money and manpower to clean up the mess there. Nearly everyone who lives in Turner left their homes yesterday when Mill Creek spilled its banks and all the other creeks surrounding the town. People are very slowly coming back now, and they're seeing just how bad that damage is firsthand. My co-anchor Jeff Gianola is live in Turner now with the very latest. And Jeff, a lot of people coming back, at least they can get in now. I was there last night at 11, and a lot of those roads were still impassable.
Well, that is the good news, Kelly. The floodwaters have receded, but boy, is this creek, Mill Creek, running angry and high and fast. Where I'm standing right here, this was a fence line, and you can look at it. I just pulled that fence post out, and over here, someone's backyard, a birdhouse out over here, sitting like an island in the middle of Mill Creek. So these backyards are basically swallowed up, but I bet by tomorrow morning, as the creek starts to recede a little bit more, you'll start to see more and more of these backyards. Now spin around this way and look at the houses. These houses, some of them condemned tonight. The building inspectors say they're unlivable until they're fixed up. And we're going to take you in there and see some of that flood damage. But first, our reporter Carla Castano has a very personal story about a local family here in Turner displaced by the floods of 2012.
Disaster. Things are moved from one end to the other that shouldn't have been moved.
The young family surveys the damage after they were rescued from their Turner home.
There's so much going at one time. Once the water overran the pumps, there was no catching up to it.
They say the water just came too fast.
I got pushed out of here. I had over a foot inside the house, and then we finally were able to get out.
Their 94-year-old grandmother carried out by firefighters.
So they packed her from the house to the end of the drive, put her in the car. And it seemed like a little ride for her, I guess. I don't know. But she's fine.
But their house destroyed.
Oh, the whole floor is done.
Today, the water continues to lower 41 inches down to 36 to 27 inches in just a few hours. But Mill Creek flooding still has Delaney Road closed off. There's a hole in the road and pavement ripped up, and still a couple hundred families just beginning to put their lives back together.
The two tables that actually stayed in one spot. Everything else is floated around.
Reporting for you in Turner, Carla Castano, KOIN Local 6.
And those stories were repeated all over Turner, Oregon today as folks really saw the damage firsthand. I'm in back of a home right now that the building inspector said is now uninhabitable. Here's a reason why. It's not just the floodwaters that go in and do damage to the homes. Look what they do to the furnace systems here and to the electrical system. This ductwork completely gone. The brother of the owner of this house told me his brother will probably just tear this house down. He had no insurance. And coming up on the 5 o'clock news, Kelly, I'm going to take you inside this house so you can see exactly what floodwaters do in just a short amount of time to a home. Memories are now gone, besides the furniture and the appliances. Very expensive mess down here. And this really ruins lives. It's hard to survive something like this, to come back. But people do. There's a great spirit down here, as you well know, in Turner, Oregon. So we'll be talking to you during the 5 o'clock newscast. Once again, we'll take you inside this house and look at the damage firsthand. Back to you.
Yeah, they just didn't have much time, Jeff, to get their stuff, the meaningful items, and get out, because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning when everyone was going door to door there in Turner saying Mill Creek is coming up fast. You got to get out now.
And, you know, Kelly, that was the thing. People who've lived here for years said this was worse than the flood of '96, and they had never seen this creek rise so fast. There's a lot of theories on that, including one that's making controversial waves around town about a new subdivision built downstream from here on wetlands that a lot of people protested at the time. And, you know, that's just a theory right now, but a lot of townsfolk are talking about that.
Okay, Jeff, we'll talk to you in just a few minutes. Stand by down there in Turner.
Okay.
Meanwhile,